If you was on here a little while ago and I left, I'm sorry. I apologize, but I had to get up right quick. But I'm back, and still on this. So I'm just. It's called Leviticus. Leviticus is God's guidebook for His newly redeemed people, showing them how to worship, serve, and obey a holy God. Fellowship with God through surface sacrifice, and obedience show the awesome holiness of the God of Israel. Indeed, ye be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Leviticus focuses on the worship and walk of the nation of God. In Exodus, Israel was redeemed and established as a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Leviticus shows how God's people are to fulfill their priestly calling. Hello. The Hebrew title is Wayara, Wayara, and he called the Talmud refers to Leviticus as the law of the priests and the law of the offerings. The Greek title appearing in the Septuagint, is Leucticon, that which pertains to the Levites. From the word the Latin voltage derived its name Leviticus, which was adopted by the English title. This title was slightly misleading because the book does not deal with the Levites as a whole, but more with the priests, a segment of the Levites. Okay, so verse 1. Now the Lord said to Moses, and spoke to him from the tabernacle of meeting, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When any one of you brings an offering to the Lord, you shall bring your offering of the livestock of the herd and of the flock. If his offering is a burnt sacrifice of the Lord, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own free will at the door of the tabernacle of meeting before the Lord. He he shall put his hand on the head of the burnt offering, and it will be accepted on the behalf of the mount anointment for him. He shall kill the bull before the Lord, and the priest and Aaron's son shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood all around on the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of meeting. Hello. And he shall skin the burnt offering and cut it into the pieces of the sons of Aaron. The priest shall put fire on the altar and on the lay the wood in order on the fire. Then the priest Aaron's sons shall lay the parts, the head and the fat in order on the wood that is in the fire upon the altar. But he shall wash its entrails and its legs with water. And the priest shall burn all on the altar as a burnt sacrifice and offering made by fire, a sweet aroma to the Lord. If his offering is of the flocks, of the sheep, or of the goats as the burnt sacrifice, he shall bring a male without blemish. He shall kill it on the north side of the altar before the Lord, and the priest and Aaron's sons shall sprinkle its blood all around on the altar. And he shall cut it into its pieces with its head and its fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire upon the altar. But he shall wash the entrails and the legs with water. Then the priest shall bring it all and burn it on the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, a sweet aroma to the Lord. And if the burnt sacrifice of his offering to the Lord is of birds, then he shall bring his offerings of turtle doves and young pigeons. The priest shall bring it to the altar, wring off its head, and burn it on the altar. Its blood shall be drained out of the side of the altar, and he shall remove its corpse with its feathers and cast it beside the altar on the east side into the place for ashes. Then he shall split it into its wings, but shall not divide it completely, and the priest shall burn it on the altar, on the wood that is on the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, and offering made by fire, a sweet aroma to the Lord. When anyone offers a grain of offering to the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil on it, and put frankincense on it. He shall bring it to Aaron's sons, the priests, one of whom shall take from it his handful of flour and oil, and all the frankincense, and the priest shall burn it as a memorial to the altar of an offering made by fire, a sweet aroma to the Lord. The rest of the grain offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is most holy of the offerings to the Lord made by fire. And if you bring as an offering a grain offering baked in the oven, it shall be unleavened cake of fine flour mixed with oil, and 11 wafers anointed with oil. But if your offering is a grain offering in a pan, it should be a fine flour unleavened mixed with oil. You shall break it in pieces and put oil on it, and it is a grain offering baked in the covered pan. It shall be made of fine flour with oil. You shall bring the grain offering that is made with these things to the Lord, and when it is presented to the priest, he shall bring it to the altar. Then the priest shall take from the grain offering a memorial portion and burn it on the altar. It is an offering made by fire, a sweet aroma of the Lord. Hey, Clemmy, I'm just reading the Bible, so if you don't want to hear this, I understand. But that's what I'm doing. I'm reading Leviticus chapter 2, and I'm on um, verse 10. So, chapter 2, verse 10, if you want to know what I'm reading, but I'm about to just finish reading. And what is left on the grain offering shall be Aaron's and his sons, and it is most holy of the offerings to the Lord made by fire. No grain offering which you bring to the Lord shall be made with leaven, for you shall burn no leaven nor any honey in any offerings to the Lord made by fire. As for the offering of the first fruits, you shall offer them to the Lord, but they shall not be burned on the altar for a sweet aroma. And every offering of your grain offering you shall season with salt. You shall not allow the salt of the covenant of your God to be lacking from the grain offering. With all your offerings you shall offer salt. If you offer a grain offering of your first fruit up to the Lord, you shall offer the grain offering of your first fruit, green heads of grain roasted on the fire, grain beaten with head from heads, and you shall put oil on it and lay frankincense on it. It is a grain offering. Then the priest shall burn the memorial portion, part of its beaten grain, it and part of its oil with all the frankincense as an offering made by fire to the Lord. When his offerings is a sacrifice of a peace offering, if he offers it of the Lord, whether male or female, he shall offer it without blemish before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand on the head of his offering and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. And Aaron's sons and the priests shall sprinkle the blood all around the altar. Oh, I'm just reading. Yeah, I am tired though. But yeah, I'm just reading. Hey, everybody. Then he shall offer from the sacrifice of peace offering and offering made by fire to the Lord, the fat that covers the entrails and all the fat that is on the entrails, the two kidneys and the fat that is on them by the flanks, and the fatty lobe attached to the liver above the kidney he shall remove. And Aaron's sons shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is one of the wood that is on the fire, as an offering made by fire, a sweet aroma to the Lord. If his offering as a sacrifice of peace offering to the Lord is of the flock, whether male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offers a lamb as his offering, then he shall offer it before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand on the head of the offering and kill it before the tabernacle of meeting, and Aaron's sons shall sprinkle the blood all around the altar. And then he shall offer from the sacrifice of the peace offering as an offering made by the fire of the Lord, its fat and the whole fat tail which he shall remove close to the backbone, and the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on one entrail, the two kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the flanks, and the fatty lobe attached to the liver above the kidneys. He shall remove, and the priest shall burn them on the altar as food and offerings made by fire to the Lord. And it and if his offering is a goat, then he shall offer it before the Lord. He shall lay his hand on its head and kill it before the tabernacle of meeting, and the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle its blood all around the altar, and then shall offer from it his offering as an offering made by fire to the Lord, the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on the entrails, the two kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the flanks, and the fatty lobes attached to the liver above the kidneys, and he shall remove, and the priest shall burn them on the altar as food and offerings made by the fire for a sweet aroma, all the fat of the Lord's. You shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations. All your dwellings you shall eat neither fat nor blood. Now the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, If a person sins unintentionally against any of the commandments of the Lord in anything which ought not be to be done, and does any of them, if the anointed priest sins brings guilt on the people, then let him offer to the Lord for his sins which he has sinned a young bull without blemish as a sin offering. He shall bring the bull to the door of the tabernacle of meeting before the Lord. Lay his head on the lay his hand on the bull's head and kill the bull before the Lord. Then the anointed priest shall take some of the bull's blood and bring it to the tabernacle of meeting. The priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle some of the blood 7 times before the Lord in front of the well of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood on the horns of the altar of sweet incense before the Lord, which in the tabernacle of meeting, and he shall pour the remaining blood of the bull at the base of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. He shall take from it all the fat of the bull, as the he shall take all the fat of from it all that He shall take from it all the fat of the bull as the sin offering, the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat which is on the entrails, the two kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the flanks, and the fatty lobe attached to the liver above the kidney, he shall remove. All it was taken from the bull. For, okay, that's fine. Okay. He shall take from it all the fat of the bull as the sin offering, the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat which is on the entrails, the two kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the flanks, and the fatty lobe attached to the liver above the kidneys, he shall remove, as it has taken from the bull of the sacrifice of the peace offering, and the priest shall burn them on the altar of the burnt offering. But the bull's hide and all its flesh, with its head and legs, its entrails and offal, the whole bull he shall carry outside the camp to a clean place where the ashes are poured out, and burn it on wood with fire the burnt where the ashes are poured, so it shall be burned. Now, if the whole congregation of Israel sins unintentionally, and the thing is hidden from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done something against any of the commandments of the Lord, and anything which should be done, and are guilty, when the sin which they have committed becomes known, then the assembly shall offer a youngest bull for the sin, and bring it before the tabernacle of meeting, and the elders of the congregation shall lay the bull shall lay their hands on the head of the bull before the Lord. Then the bull shall be killed before the Lord. The anointed priest shall bring some of the bull's blood to the tabernacle of meeting. Then the priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord in front of the veil. And he shall put some of the blood on the horns of the altar which is before the Lord, which is in the tabernacle of meeting. And he shall pour the remaining blood at the base of the altar of burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. He shall take all that the fat from it and burn it on the altar. He shall do with the bull as he did with the bull of the sin offering, thus he shall do with it. So the priest shall make an anointment for them, and it shall be forgiven them. Then he shall carry the bull outside the camp, and burn it as the first bull. It is a sin offering for the assembly. When a ruler has sinned and done something unintentionally against any of the commandments of the Lord, he shall, in anything which should be done, and is guilty. Or if his sin which he has committed comes to his knowledge, he brings as an offering a kid of the goat, a male without blemish. He shall lay his head on the head of he shall lay his hand on the head of the goat and kill it, the place where the kill they kill the burnt offering before the Lord. It is a sin offering. The priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, put it on the horns of the altar, and bring offering, and pour its blood at the base of the altar of burnt offering. He shall burn all its fats on the altar, like the fat of the sacrifice of the peace offering. So the priest shall make anointment of him concerning his sins, and it shall be forgiven him. If any one of the common people sins unintentionally by doing commandments of the by doing any of the commandments of the Lord and anything which ought not to be done and is guilty, or if his sins which he has committed comes to his knowledge, then he shall bring as his offering a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, and his sins which he has committed. And he shall lay his hand on the head of the sin offering and kill the sin offering at the place of the burnt offering. Then the priest shall take some of the blood which with his finger put it on the horns of the altar and burnt offering and pour all the remaining blood at the base of the altar. He shall remove all its fat as fat is removed from the sacrifice of the peace offering, and the priest shall burn it on the altar for a sweet aroma to the Lord. So the priest shall make anointment of him, and it shall be forgiven him. If he brings a lamb as his sin offering, he shall bring a female without blemish. Then he shall lay his hand on her head of the sinning offerings and kill it as a sin offering at the place where they kill the burnt offering. The priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, put it on the horns of the altar of burnt offerings, and pour all the remaining blood at the base of the altar. He sh- He shall remove all fat as fat is removed from the sacrifice of the peace offering, and the priest shall burn it on the altar for a sweet aroma to the Lord. So the priest shall make anointment for him, and it shall be forgiven him. If he brings a lamb as his sin offering, he shall bring a female without blemish. Then he lay his hands on the head of the sin offering and kill it as a sin offering at the place where they killed the burnt offering. The priest shall take some the priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, put it on the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and pour the remaining blood at the base of the altar. He shall remove all its fat as the fat of the lamb is removed from the sacrifice of the peace offerings. Then the priest shall burn it on the altar according to the offerings made by the fire of the Lord. So the priest shall make anointment for his sin that he has committed, and shall be forgiven him. Whew, y'all, I tried my best. But I got to chapter 5 of Leviticus, so I'm happy about that. Well, I'm about to go to sleep, so thank you for being here. I'm going to talk to you later. Peace.